guys, my name's Imogen, I am 20 years old and I'm currently studying Geography with German at the London School of Economics. Now, as promised, I said I was going to do a video with some other LSE students and here they are today. So I am joined by Katie, Akbar and Sachi. They are going to tell you, hopefully in a minute, what courses they do. And hopefully if you are a prospective student, then this video will be useful for you.
So I'm Katie and I'm studying BSc International Relations and History.
I'm Akbar, I'm studying BSc Management.
I'm Sachi and I'm studying BSc Finance.
I feel like we're on University Challenge or
Yeah.
something. Hello, I represent King's College London.
Oh,
So if anyone asks if there's any rivalry between other London unis and us, I think you've just got the answer. So we're going to start at the very beginning with what courses everybody applied for, both at LSE, well they've told you what courses they're studying at LSE, but what courses everybody applied for at different universities. So actually, did you just apply to the UK?
No, I've applied to Singapore as well.
Ah, okay, because you come from India.
India.
Right, yeah. So Katie, do you want to start off with what courses you applied to and where?
Yeah, so obviously I applied to LSE, International Relations and History. I also applied to King's College London, International Relations and History. I applied to University of Birmingham for History and Political Science. And then I applied to Warwick and Liverpool, and both of those were for single honours history.
So you did quite a few different degrees at different unis.
Yeah, like a little bit of a mixture, yeah.
Nice. Akbar, what did you apply for?
So I applied for Management at LSE, Economics Management at King's, Management Science at UCL, Management at Warwick and Economics at Edinburgh. But I also applied for a degree at NYU Abu Dhabi as well.
At where?
New York University Abu Dhabi.
I didn't know that. Oh wow. See, I'm learning so much through this video. Sachi, what did you apply for?
So, Finance at LSE, Finance at Durham, Accounting and Finance at King's, Stats, Econ and Finance at UCL, and Accounting and Finance at Warwick.
And Singapore?
In Singapore, I applied to NUS for Business Analytics.
What's NUS, sorry?
National University of Singapore.
Okay.
Singapore Management University for Business Administration.
So looking back, what A-levels did you guys study at school? Because obviously we're doing very different courses, like we obviously would have all done very different A-levels. Katie, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, so I did A-levels in Maths, English Language and History, which is a very random mixture, and I also did an AS in Drama and Theatre Studies.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I did Maths A-level, Economics pre-U and Chemistry A-level as well.
So I didn't do A-levels, I did the Indian Standard Board. I did Econ, Math, Accounting, Commerce and English.
Crikey, you're doing a lot of subjects.
Yeah, 5 subjects.
Wow. And what grades did LSE want for your different courses? Do you want to start, Sachi?
So for me, in my board, they wanted a 90% overall with 90 in Math. But for A-levels, it would just be A star, AA with A star in Math.
Wow, 90%?
Yeah.
If I got 90% in one of my A-levels, honestly, I would be flying.
For my course I needed 3 A's, but there is an emphasis on the A Maths.
Mine was just 3 A's, which I think is most courses at LSE.
Yeah, mine's 3 A's. I think there's a couple that have AAB, but there's nothing lower than AAB. So obviously there's going to be a lot of students who are watching this video who have already applied. There'll be a lot of students who are waiting to send off their UCAS application. So I think it'd be really useful to talk about when we sent off our applications, if you guys remember, and when you got your offer. I mean, I'm pretty certain you're going to remember when you got your offer. So yeah, when did you send off your application?
I sent it off in November and I got my offer in end of March.
Okay, oh, so that took quite a long time then.
Yeah, like 27th March.
Yeah, because I think I sent mine off in November and got it in February. What about you, Akbar? Because I know you applied twice, right?
I did, so I applied during my final year of A-levels, got an offer, didn't make the grade for Maths, I was marginally off, so I had to take a gap year and apply again, then I got an offer again. So the first time around it was the 8th of December I applied, heard back on the 1st of March. Second time round I applied on the 14th of January, so at the very last minute, and got a reply on the 27th of February.
So that was much quicker then?
Yeah, as in because with LSE, I kind of learned from the first year that they don't really look at applications till post-January.
Yeah, that's true.
So there is obviously a rush to get it in, just so you can kind of focus on your A-levels.
Yeah.
But for me, I just wanted to kind of get stuff done in my gap year, which I could then talk about on my new personal statement. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So actually, that's really interesting. If you're a gap year student and you want to apply to LSE, don't rush to get your application in because they don't consider it until later.
Yeah.
Did you find that with yours as well, Katie? That you didn't
Well-
get your offer till later?
Well, I think I got mine quite early actually because I sent mine off, I think it was mid-November, and I got a reply back mid-January, so I think I must have been like the first
Yeah.
batch, I guess.
Yeah. Because I heard that, I mean, this could be wrong, but I heard that basically LSE consider applications at the end of every week. So they normally send out, it's either offers or rejections on a Thursday and a Friday, and you just basically wait each week to find out whether you've been accepted or rejected. And so it happens for about 3 months.
Yeah, it does do that. I used to track the progress on, the student room.
Oh, yeah.
I used to go on every week and be like, has anyone had any emails yet from my course? So if you are wondering, like, if anyone's had any emails, the student room I think is a good resource to use because people there are going through the same process as you there, and then you can tell whether they've started sending emails out for your course or not.
Did you guys also use student room?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it's a really helpful place. Now, a lot of you out there are probably here to find out how to write your personal statements because I know right now is personal statement time. And so I thought it'd be interesting to talk briefly about what we talked about in our personal statements because honestly, I think we could all talk for hours about it. But if you do have any specific questions for any of these guys, hopefully they're going to answer your comments down below. So if you just write who it's for and then you guys can obviously hop online and help with the comments. That would be really cool. But Katie, what did you talk about in your personal statement?
So obviously because my personal statement was aimed towards international relations and history, I looked sort of at issues that happened in the past and how they influenced issues today, sort of.
Really interesting.
So for my A-levels in history, we looked at the Cold War.
Mhm.
So my personal statement, I spoke about the Cold War and specifically like proxy wars, like the Korean War. And then I looked at how that affects like Korea today and how there's still conflict there today and it's like a tension zone.
Yeah.
So I spoke about that because I thought we linked the past and the present really well.
Yeah.
So obviously I think LSE, it's something like they look for like 75% to 80% academic.
Yeah, that's the one.
And then, the rest of it you need to talk about extracurriculars, so like jobs you've had, roles of responsibility you've had, anything like that.
One thing that I did find is that if you're able to tie in, say, work experience you've done into kind of your modules and what you learn, they do really like that. So my structure was kind of theory about management and economics linked into, say, real world applications that I've seen, say, during my internships or experience. And then I finished off with just a bit about co-curricular. The most important factor is with co-curricular, you again have to link it back to your degree and explain, as in you can't just put I was captain for my football team, as in you have to link it back to factors that do make you a desirable candidate for LSE.
Sachi?
So I didn't do the 80-20, I just did 100% academics and curricular because didn't want to talk about extracurriculars for that. So I started off with how I got into finance and how I decided that it's something that I want to do. I spoke about how I've done a lot of research on math and its applications in finance. I spoke about the Harry Markowitz's portfolio theory, as well as the applications of Fibonacci sequence in investing models in general. And I did this because I know that the finance department at LSE really focuses on math and wants quantitative aptitude in the students. Other than that, I think it's just the way you write your statement should be really focused on the modules you study, especially in your first year.
Yeah.
So what I did was I just did a quick research on the modules I would study in the first year, and I referenced that in my statement.
So for those of you who don't know, I already have videos up on my channel all about my journey to LSE and how to get into LSE. And I also have a video with my personal statement, so if you're interested in geography at LSE, then definitely do go and check out those other videos. So moving on to the next section, we're now talking about life at LSE. So how have you guys found it so far?
Obviously when you think of LSE, the first thing you think of is workload and no social life.
Yeah.
I think in comparison to a lot of other universities, there is a lot of work. It's not necessarily extremely difficult work, it's more
the constant,
continuous work. But I think if you can manage your time right, you can still have a fairly good social life. I would say that the stigma around the social life here is not, like, I got here and I expected that everyone was going to sit down and just do work all day in their room. And it's just not been like that. People are actually really genuinely up to go out, do fun things, which is nice, I think.
I mean, not during lockdown, I'd like to clarify.
Of course.
The only trips we're doing is to Pret and the supermarket, the middle, pulling through. Akra, how have you found it?
So again, as in leading on to what Kate said, LSE does have this reputation for being this really academic focused uni, and it is, but ultimately you're also in London. So for me, that's always kind of trumped the academic factor. Yes, as long as you get your work done, stay on top of everything, you can have a flourishing social life.
Yeah.
Actually?
I've had a lot of fun too. I didn't see any problems in the social life aspect of it. I would say the workload is pretty much a lot. Like I have trouble keeping up.
Yeah.
Especially because, well, I'm doing spring weeks and I know so is Akbar. We have a hard time keeping up. In this household, everyone's pretty social.
Yeah, I think the social life is what you make of it, but that's the same at any
Any
university. You can go
university.
to any university and be antisocial, but I think it is, if you put yourself out there, you will find people who genuinely want to go and do things.
Yeah, that's true.
We are quite lucky in the sense of our kind of household is a social one.
Yeah.
So everyone does, when they have their work done at least, want to have a good time. So it's good.
Every weekend.
Every week.
Sorry, just to go back to what Sachi was saying, spring weeks. Can you just quickly explain what a spring week is, just in case there's anyone watching who doesn't know?
So a spring week is basically usually 5 to 10 days insight into one of the top investment banking companies. You can apply to as many as you want. It's extremely competitive, and the application processes are super long. Like you have to do CVs, cover letters, online tests, personality tests, interviews, second round interviews. It's super stressful, and to keep up with uni work and spring weeks and social life and working out is like
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So Katie, do different halls mix within LSE?
If you have someone from a different accommodation on your course, then you will mix with them.
Yeah.
I think in a normal year you'd mix a lot more than we have. I think there is still some accommodation mixing. Like I've got people I know from all the different LSE accommodations, but I think at the moment, because of COVID, it is very much you know people from your accommodation.
So when you're meeting these people from other accommodations, you're meeting them on campus, is that right?
Yeah.
Not actually in their halls, because obviously
We're not allowed guests.
we're not allowed guests in our halls, and the other halls I'm pretty certain have the same policies, particularly during lockdown. So Akbar, obviously along this corridor we've got lots of different courses. I mean, the fact that we're all sat here now kind of shows a little bit of the answer to this question, but do different people on different courses tend to mix, or is it very much like each course keeps themselves to themselves?
So again, it's kind of two different responses based on the COVID year and a normal year. Normally, as in courses wouldn't be, say, a barrier to meeting people because it'd be every Wednesday night at Tons, for example, or any other event in London, and you meet people from different unis and of course different courses at LSE. However, within COVID, we found that we can only go into campus for classes. So the people that I meet, say, before and after classes tend to be from my course, or maybe a very similar course to mine.
Yeah. And sorry, just what you were saying about going to Tons, what's Tons?
3 Tons is one of LSE's student bars, and it is usually very popular in a non-COVID year. And it would just be something we'd experience in a normal week, well, hopefully post-lockdown and post-COVID.
Yeah. But right now it's shut, unfortunately. Yeah, we're a bit sad about that. And Sachi, obviously you're an international student. Have you found that there's quite a big divide between international students and non-international students, or do they mix quite a lot?
No, there's no divide. Most of my friends are international students. If you want to meet friends from your country, I guess you would have to join the societies for it. So say I'm from India, so if I join the India Society, I would make a lot of Indian friends. But since I have not joined it, most of my friends are just international students, from other countries.
Dare I ask, but we're going to talk about freshers. What advice would you give to somebody who wants to apply to LSE or is considering LSE as one of their university choices? Would you say that LSE is just full of super smart people?
Yeah, I think it's better if okay.